welcome to the Broke Entrepreneur Podcast.
Back.
Broke Entrepreneur. I always slip over myself when I say that. It's Broke Entrepreneur Podcast.
Yes, it is.
I'm your host, Chach. This is my co-host,
AC.
Look at him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. In today's episode, we're going to talk about books, and you got 2 case studies
Yes.
you're going to talk about, right?
I'm going to talk about 2 case studies.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about the book that we left you guys with last time. That we
Yeah,
didn't talk
man.
about.
Everybody's been waiting. Listen,
Yeah.
It's been, about a month?
Almost a month. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys missed us, but if you did, that's cool.
It's great. We're
That's
glad you
cool.
care.
And if you didn't miss us, that means you at least paid attention to the podcast. You watched some episodes,
Yeah.
so that's cool too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the luck.
We appreciate it.
So yeah, man. Let's get into these books. No. Let's not get into these books because it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. We got to catch the people up with our lives.
Let's get into what's been going on with you. Let's do like a segment. What's been going on with you?
Okay.
And then it comes across the screen like, yeah, like da da da.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got that. So,
what's going on with you?
oh, man. It's been a crazy past few weeks.
Yeah, man.
Been some ups, been some downs. Just had a meeting. You were even present for the meeting.
It was like 5 minutes ago, y'all.
Yeah, I just had a meeting.
It didn't sound like it was a good meeting.
It was not a good meeting. It was a meeting with a sales executive from a professional sports team.
Okay.
Won't mention the team, won't mention the executive. Keep that off the air. But he was being a dick. He's been a dick.
Why, man?
I don't know, but he opened up the whole conversation with being a dick. He's like, hey, people need to stop being fake and inauthentic. It's like we can tell people being fake and inauthentic. And I'm like, okay, who starts off a conversation like that?
I feel like he was attacking you.
Yeah, he was just like, I felt like I was being attacked. And so
he was talking about you.
Yeah. And I was just keeping my composure. And I was like, yo, I want information. Like, I'm actually here to learn. Like, this is really what I'm doing. Like, I have no interest in a job, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I really want to learn from someone who's been in this position. And he's been doing this for over a decade, working for a professional team. And so I'm like, okay, cool.
He probably just thought you was some chump, man, just trying to get some information or pull a fast one on him. He's like, yo, I'm in the game. I've been in the game for a while now.
That's exactly what he was trying to do. Like, impose, like, I've been doing this for a while. I know all the sales tricks. And he keeps low key insulting my intelligence and saying that I'm fake or inauthentic, but trying to do it in a suave way.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep my composure.
You did good, man.
Like, I've dealt with people way worse than this.
Right.
So let me just keep my composure. He's very short with his answers.
Okay.
Asking him for, tips and information on how to maneuver through the space. He picked up on the word maneuver and made it sound like it was a bad word. Like,
that's not a bad word.
Like, he's like, maneuver. I'm like, what? What does that even mean?
What if you said I adapt and I adjust?
Yeah, he was like,
he's like that.
Maybe not. He's like, I hate when people say I just want to get my foot in the door. And I told him like 3 times, I am not trying to sell you anything, and I am not looking for a job. Apparently, that's what happens to these people all the time, and so they just automatically become very dismissive. But I've never had anyone become this dismissive off the bat.
Real quick.
Like, I've talked to executives from several professional teams, from the Lakers, from the Clippers, from the Chargers, from the Rams, and these people are like, oh, hey, like, what's up, what's going on? I tell them straight up, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything, not looking for a job. I really am only looking for information because I don't know where I'm going to move with my business in the future. And I just want to learn and
can I get some tips?
Some tips and build my relationships organically. And these people have given me their personal cell phone numbers. I don't abuse them. I only hit them up like, hey, just to like let them know that you're still, in their circle. Like, any events you guys have going on, I can come out and show some support. Yeah, how can I help? I'm just trying to learn. But this guy was just being a fucking dick. Yeah. So
hey, say it proud, man.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, okay, cool. I know how this conversation is gonna end.
Okay.
I budgeted, 10 to 15 minutes for the conversation, and I ended the conversation in exactly 12 minutes. Like, it was a waste of my time. It was probably a waste of his time because he came into it with a different, thought process. Like, this guy is just trying to sell me, or he's secretly looking for a job. He even offered, he's like, I can help, I can recommend you to some other people if you're trying to get a sales job. And I'm like, I'm not looking for a sales job.
That's not what I said.
I hate sales jobs.
Okay.
Like, I would lose my mind. All I'm doing is sitting at a desk, picking up a phone. Hey, do you want to buy this? Hey,
Me too, man.
Buy this? Hey, do you want to buy
Hey,
this?
I used to have a job. I used to do that.
Yeah.
I did that for 3 days at LA Fitness. Remember that? We talked about that in the
Yeah.
in the last in another episode, another podcast episode. Listen, man, go back and watch that episode. I don't remember which one it was, but it was one of them. So watch them all.
Yeah,
listen to them all. Say some way. I find a way to get that in there.
Yeah.
You see how I do that?
I see how you did. And I've had other sales jobs too, and I realized like the longest sales job I ever had was a month. Like I've always quit the sales jobs in like
I can't do it
because it's like I don't care about getting shut down. It's just I'm not. I'm just not proud of whatever it is that you're trying to. I'm selling.
That's what it is, and that's why I quit in 3 days because I wasn't proud on how they wanted me to sell. Yeah. It was like they wanted to like throw down people's throat, right? Just throw it down, man, and like. I can tell that most people didn't want this, and they were just kind of like, I'll get it just because this guy seems nice, or this guy won't leave me alone, and like, I don't want to do business like that. Yeah. I want to sell a product I believe in, right? Yeah. And I didn't. No disrespect to them, right, in that company, right? But it wasn't for me. Yeah. It wasn't for me. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I sold ad space for the biggest Muslim website in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not even Muslim. I
could do that.
I know, right? Because it's just selling ads. But it was what was dope, right? Was the boss was chill.
Okay.
Like he was chill. The staff was chill. It was just I just didn't have it in me.
I didn't know you did that.
It lasted a week. It was my second to last year in college.
Okay.
Lasted a week because like I was just calling people all day.
That's crazy.
That aren't Muslims during a time where it's still pretty close to like the energy in the United States. It's like people against Muslim, even though
I wouldn't feel right about that.
Yeah, like I don't mind. I have a ton of Muslim friends, so it doesn't bother me that I'm selling ad space for a Muslim website.
Yeah, but you feel you're selling ad space to what companies at what space on what?
Well, I'd say the biggest client for that website was Bank of America, right? This is the biggest Muslim website in the world. Okay. Like, Muslims visit this website every day. It's a positive, uplifting website.
Oh, okay. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, even that connotation where you took it as probably being negative.
I did.
But it's not negative. It's just, that's why it was so hard because you're picking up the phone and you're telling people you're selling ad space, calling these companies, and like, oh, what's the website about? And you tell them it's the number one Muslim website in the world, and they're just like, click. Click. It's like, I have zero issue. I have tons of Muslim friends.
Right.
Like,
you're trying to do a good thing.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so negative. Like, it's so negative. You're hearing all this negative feedback and all this energy, and it's like, Muslims are just people who have a different religious belief than you do. Like, they look at, their extremists the same way we look at our extremists.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but most people do feel some negative way.
Yeah.
Right, some type of way about it.
Yeah. Right. So that's what's been going on with me. Don't want to dive too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, man.
But what's been going on with you?
What's going on with me?
Yes.
Do the little sound effects. Yeah, man. We gotta get a new one. We gotta get a new one of those. What's going on with me? Listen, check this out. I'm moving.
Okay.
I'm gonna be moving.
Salute.
Actually, today will be the day I find out if I move or not.
Okay.
And if things go well, I'm gonna be moving closer to you, man.
Coming deeper into Orange County.
Yeah, man. Me and my wife, we wanna move closer to the beach.
Yes, sir.
And experience another part of Orange County that we haven't really experienced out here in our 3 years.
Okay.
Right? So that's good stuff. Right? I got all the documents for my fitness business.
That's what's up.
Right? I need to go down to the Orange County clerk office and file that and pay my fees and stuff. And then, my fitness business will be coming soon.
Nice.
We talked about that in another podcast. Yeah, check that one out too.
Still doing it old school, still going in person to file business paperwork. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I feel good about that. I get a folder. I get to put with my other folders.
Got you.
Let's see. My one of my biggest clients, my only client right now, re-signed for another month. And it's funny because I was in the process of like completely like not fishing for clients anymore. I'm whatever happens. I'm out of the game. I don't really want to do digital marketing anymore. I just want to train people and make courses. We talked about that.
Yes, sir.
And then it's funny. It's like right when I was like making the decision, I got a new client, and then I had 3 other leads hit me up and want to do business. Right. Up. So it's like, man, it's like tug of war pulling me back and forth. Like, should I stay in, stay in the marketing space and do that, or really go 100 into my fitness business? So I'm kind of torn right now. Okay. Because the marketing business still pays me. Yes. Right.
Still pays the bills.
So that's where I'm at right now, man. So maybe in our next episode, whenever that is, don't want to promise nothing.
No promises.
Yeah, well, I can give you an update. I can give you guys an update. Give you guys an update on what happens. I really want to get into the fitness business. I've already started building funnels, learning like really detailed stuff about exercise programs, and I'm really, really excited about the nutrition stuff. Meal plans specifically coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, man, because I love that stuff. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Yeah. There you go.
So back to me. So let's get into today's topic.
Books.
We're
going to talk about books.
Yeah.
And your 2 case studies.
Case studies from business school, yeah.
Hey, check this out, man. I hated books growing up.
I loved them growing up.
Yeah, man.
It's opposite now.
I was hooked on phonics. Yeah, man.
That's actually not a joke.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
It was actually on Hooked on Phonics.
I feel like I would get attacked after this episode. People are like, he's making fun of me. I was that guy. I was actually that guy.
Yeah.
Right? So, man, I didn't like books, man. I didn't like to read. I especially didn't like to. You remember when you was in school and the teacher used to call you, right? And you got to read out loud?
Yeah.
That was the most terrifying thing on the planet for me.
So opposite from me. I was
right?
Like, yeah.
I was like, no, I used to like try to hide. And now I feel like I will be the first one to get picked. So they can sense, he doesn't want to read. And I was that guy. Well, anyways, fast forward, boom. 5 years ago, I really got into books, man. And I just started reading a bunch of shit. And I was like, I feel like I missed out. I feel like I really missed out, man. And now, man, I got a bookshelf with books. I got books on my iBook. I got books everywhere. Okay. I got ebooks. Gotcha. I got a bunch of ebooks on my computer. Okay. And my old computer. I'm just reading stuff all the time, man. Because I love to read. I love to read now. I missed out. But anyways, so with that said, I have 3 books that I would like to share, man. 3 books I feel like changed my life. Most of these books are about business. Yeah, man. So I want to share those books.
It's dope.
Yeah. Wait, you got 1 book, 2 case studies.
2 case studies.
We should just kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay.
So we're not both just talking forever.
Okay, listen. I'll give my favorite book last. The one that had like the biggest impact.
So yeah, make y'all wait for the book that influenced my life.
That I recommend.
That you recommend.
That I recommend.
We'll make that one last. So they have to say.
That's crazy. Look, you go from the guy who couldn't read to recommending the genius a book.
I'm not a genius, but I'll take it.
Yeah, man. And I came a long way. Okay, so check this out, man. My first book. It's actually right here for the people that are watching. It's called .com Secrets.
.com Secrets.
That book goes super hard, right? If you're looking to start an online business, right? I think in business as a whole, just the marketing, the psychology behind this book is amazing. It's funny because 2 years ago, I paid $100 to talk to my mentor, my fitness mentor on the internet for 30 minutes, right? And I told him a bunch of stuff. I'm doing this. I had an e-commerce store at the time. Here, my e-commerce store. And he was like, yo, listen, you're doing too much, bro. And you need to read these 2 books. He said one of them was .com Secrets. The other one was Product Launch by Jeff Walker. 2 years go by, didn't read any of those books.
Okay.
And then I picked up .com Secrets. This was like, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Okay.
Right? I read the book. I was like, wow. Everything you need to know about building a system, funnels to get sales. Kind of reading off my notes here. It helps you really understand the psychology behind sales, funnels, and the position that you want to put yourself in to give people what they want, you know, without being like a sleazeball, right?
Gotcha.
So, anyways, after reading that book, I'm like, wow, like all the mistakes that I made in those 2 years, so funny, was because I didn't read that book. It was crazy, man. So, like, anybody who's out there listening, who's in business, you gotta get this book. You can get it for free, actually. I think there's a link somewhere. You can go on Google, type in .com Secrets, books for free, and I think they make you pay for shipping or something like that.
Probably.
Did you read the book?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what's up. You know how powerful it is.
It's a really good book.
Yeah.
It's like that was me going down the space when I was leaving the business school world of business books and going into people who are more practical. Like they're actually doing it hands on. It's not just theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just some guy, who's being paid $200,000 a year who used to do great business in the 80s and now writing a book in the 2000s. It's like, is it really practical for this time?
Yeah, it talked a lot about old marketing and new marketing. Right.
Yeah, some of the old stuff still works.
Yeah, some of the old stuff still works. And it talks about how some of the old stuff still works, but we're in a different age now.
Yeah.
And if you don't get with it, you're going to get lost. Right? It also talks about branding yourself, branding your business, and the way to go about it. So it's like, it's kind of like the blueprint of getting started, man. Just like period. Like if you're trying to get started selling something or you have a service-based business, like you gotta get that book, read that book. People would back me up, man. I know they would, man. There's a lot of funnel hackers out there. Most people don't know what that means, but they do. So, yeah, man, that was one of my books. Let's go to your case study, man. Let's bounce back and forth.
Perfect.
Like volleyball.
Yes. Serve, set. All right, cool.
Nope.
So the first case study I'm gonna dive into is Zipcar. I want to say the woman's name was Robin. I'm not 100% sure because I don't have my notes in front of me and I didn't do a lot of research before this.
Get some notes, man. I got notes.
I gotta get one of those because my laptop is hideous and I don't want to put it up here.
You should put it up there.
But yeah, so the Zipcar case study really stood out to me, and it also helped me with my own personal business.
What is this?
So in the Zipcar is a service where basically you don't have to own a car. You could just rent a car, and they're like specific pickup spots. Like, there's a car parked here. I can go to this car, unlock this car, and then drive this car around and park it back at the same spot.
I heard of that.
Right? Instead of going to a whole rental car service place, you just kind of pick it up on the street.
Yeah.
So great business idea. And it was two women that started this company, and one woman was doing all the work, and the other woman was kind of just sitting back, chilling. She had her connections, but she wasn't really doing much. And the other woman was, I want to say her name was Robin, was going out there, all the business meetings, handling everything. Every time she was getting funding, she was only diluting her own equity. She wasn't diluting her partner's equity, and her partner was kind of just chilling. Long story short, she ends up with like a very small percentage of owning this company, this super successful idea.
Okay.
Company gets acquired. Mm-hmm. One woman who barely did anything makes a ton of money, and she makes a little bit of money.
Wow.
And she did all the work.
Yeah.
So what that taught me in my business was to learn to know when to get rid of people.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody can be a great friend, but they may not be a good business partner. And knowing how to separate business from friendship and business from personal is great. So a situation very early on in my business, we had a guy on our team who was a seasoned vet in the business world, senior executive at a big tech company, connections, money, everything you would love to know about on paper to have on your on your business, part of your business, on your roster. Like, this guy has done it. Like, he was useless to us. Like,
he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He was. I mean, like I said, it's nothing personal. Mm-hmm. It was that he had to take care of his family. Like, he's married. He has kids. He can't really dive into the business the same way we were diving into the
and
business.
And he had other stuff going on too, huh?
Yeah, he has other stuff going on. Okay. So we're like, yo, okay, if you can't be there,
you can't go all in.
He got kids. Yeah, if you can't go all in, you can at least, put up some of the money, And he was like, oh, I can't really put the money. I'm strapped for cash. I'm like, oh, cool. Then we're gonna have to dilute your equity, because if you're not putting in time and you're not putting in money, he was like, okay, I understand that, like, completely understand. Let's just, convert me to an advisor, right? So I'll still be part of the company. You guys can still use my name, my leverage to move the company, but I'll be an advisor.
Okay.
He wanted to be an advisor but keep the same level of equity.
No. Is he still around?
No. It's been gone for years.
Oh, I never even seen him.
Never seen him, never met him. Nobody will know his name.
Okay.
But it's like, you want to be an advisor, right? Advisors get like 1% to 2%, max. Like you're probably getting 0.25%. You want to keep a third of the company to just be an advisor. Like, what world is this? And so, just going through that Zipcar, tying it back to the Zipcar case study is like,
did you read the Zipcar first?
Yes.
Before I'm going through that?
So we read the Zipcar, and so
you was like, I seen this.
You see the writing coming, right? And so you're only a few months in, and you're like, I can see this. I know what's happening, and I'm not gonna let it continue to go down. So it's like, hey, we're gonna have to part ways. Nothing personal, but the business ties end here, and so that's where we're able to, basically get rid of the problem very early on. We didn't want to drag it out, and because how much media attention that we got for this business. Like, my name is plastered all over the internet.
Right.
So he would have had his name and photo plastered all over the internet, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
he would
we're
have been pissed.
So let's cut this now. So that's what that case study taught me.
Hey. So then you read that case study, because, hey, if you didn't read that case study,
we'd just let him linger around.
He'd still be around. Nah, I feel like you would have wised up. You're a wise man.
I would have figured it out.
You would have figured it out eventually. A little bit faster from the case study.
The case study definitely helped out.
Okay.
So let's
back to me,
you.
man. Back to me. Listen, book number 2 for me.
Okay.
This book changed my life, man.
Okay. How did it change your life?
It changed. Okay, like this book, it's about business, but not about business. It's more about a mindset. Okay, you want to know what this book is?
What's the name of this book?
This book is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right? A lot of people heard about this book.
I've heard of it.
A lot of people in business heard about this book.
Yeah.
Some people haven't heard about this book.
Anyways, the audiobook.
Actually, the first time I heard about this book was through the audiobook, all the way through, and then I bought the book.
Okay.
Yeah, man, so I can make notes. Yeah.
So,
anyways, this book, why it's so powerful to me, is because it was for the first time it taught me the concept of poor mindset and a wealthy mindset. I was like, what does that mean? Right? Yeah. What does that mean? I thought wealthy people or rich people are just rich and they just pass their money down, right? Which does happen.
It happens a lot.
Okay. And then I thought poor people were just poor because, we were poor. I grew up not necessarily poor, but kind of poor.
But we were poor.
We wasn't, I didn't live in my car when I was a kid. That wasn't until I was older. And that was only for 2 weeks, just to clarify that.
There's levels of poverty, there's levels of poor.
Yeah, man. Anyways, yeah, man. So it taught me the difference between assets and liabilities, and I've never heard of that term ever before.
Okay.
And I'm already at this time, I don't even know, bro, 27, right? And I'm just yo, for all this time in my adult life, I've never heard of this. I didn't hear about this when I was in college and dropped out. I didn't hear about this when I was in high school. I didn't hear about this when I went to my little medical tech school.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this at all. So I didn't have any assets. I didn't know what it means, right? I had only liabilities. So when I heard this concept of gaining assets, gaining something that will make you money without being there all the time, right? Without being at a job, right?
Yeah.
something similar to like real estate, right? Like buying a house and then the house makes you money because someone's written it out. I was like, what? Okay, I've heard people do that, but I didn't know that was called an asset. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that, right? I thought that my car was an asset. You know, my car was not an asset.
It's not an asset.
Right? Some cars are assets. If it's like a, 1964 rare something.
It's classic, yeah.
Right?
It's already paid off, yeah.
Or, those cars where they release like 20 in the world? Yeah. Or something like that. Those can be assets. Anyways, so I started to, it basically completely flipped my mindset of spending money just to spend money.
Yeah.
Right? I started saving money. I started buying courses because I felt like that was investing in myself, right? And I became valuable, and I created businesses or created opportunities where I made more money by investing in myself.
Yeah.
Right? So if I didn't read that book, I would have probably, I don't know, still just spending money just for no reason. Just every single year, you get your taxes and then you just blow it all.
Yeah.
Right? I used to do that since I started working at 18. Just get my taxes, blow it all. Get financial aid, blow it all. Right? Yeah. When I get my check, blow it all. I would just spend all of my money. I would save nothing. I would invest into nothing. But when I read this book, I was like, wow, okay, so it's not really a secret why the rich are rich. They're able to put off, what is it? I'm butchering this quote. I am. They're able to put off, what is it? Current pleasures for future gains.
Yes, that is huge.
Yeah, so like I was like, what does that mean? Right, but after reading that book, I know what that means.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now, man. Like, I save money. I buy books because it's an investment.
Yeah.
I buy courses. Start businesses. So I spend a lot of money, but to make money.
Gotcha.
I've never understood that concept until I read this book.
That's dope. I'm glad it had that effect on you.
Yeah, man, it changed my life. Changed my life, man. So listen, if you haven't read that book, check that book out. That book is amazing. I don't agree with all the things in the book, but the concept of the book, yeah, man, this was up.
It's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm glad I got to share that with you guys and you too. I don't know if you ever knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I might read that book again.
Glad I had that effect on you, man. That's dope.
Man. Yeah, man. Back to you, man. You got another case study.
I do have another case study.
And then after that, we got the big shebang.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for a minute.
Yeah. So, the next case study is actually a case study I did. I wrote this case study.
You wrote this?
I wrote this case study.
You did that?
Yes.
With your hands?
With my hands.
Okay.
My fingers on the keyboard.
I believe it.
So, this next case study that I did was I wasn't just myself. It was with two other people in business school. And this case study was for Spotify. For Spotify.
I fucks with Spotify.
So not only was this case study for Spotify,
okay,
we had to deliver this case study to Spotify executives. So
how long ago was this?
This was 2015.
This is before they super blew up.
This is before they right when they were hitting that transition.
Okay.
And there's a few things I'm gonna touch on because this is a very powerful case study, right? So okay. I'll take it back even before I wrote the case study, or I helped put together the case study.
Teach me something.
So I actually went to interview for Pandora.
Okay.
So I got an interview for Pandora. I was in business school, but I wasn't, done with it. I was still in the middle of business school. So Pandora has a job opening. I apply for the job opening, get brought in for an interview. The guy sees that I have my startup listed on my resume. So he asked me about my startup, asked me a few questions, like, yeah, it's what I'm working on. It's a business school project. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but, I'm hoping we get funded. So he says, oh, so what would happen if your company got funded? Like, I would leave. Like, just flat out honest. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, oh, yeah, I would stick around. Like, if my company gets funded, why am I going to stay at a regular job? That. So I'll give you an honest answer. So he kind of cut the interview short. But before he cut the interview short, He asked me some questions on what I had, like if I had any recommendations for Pandora.
Okay.
And I told him like, hey, Pandora is really dope. I guess like I use it all the time.
I used to
love Pandora, right?
Yeah.
Best. It's still to me as the best radio.
I think it did have the best radio. I think it. I don't know if it still does. Who listens to Pandora now?
Yeah.
But I do remember, man,
off,
when you used to like and dislike, you used to put things in order, man. The playlist used to be fire.
Fire, right? Because it was like actually, the algorithm was improving what you were listening to.
Yeah.
And then so
I don't know what happened to Apple.
Gave them some me either. So gave them some recommendations on what I thought. I was like, one, you should have tiered pricing, right? Because their professional version at that time I think was like $9.99 a month or whatever, but it didn't really give you anything dope besides no ads. Yeah, no ads and like a little bit better like audio quality.
Okay.
But Spotify at the time was bringing everything more social, and like if you pay for the pro version, you could download playlists and albums to your phone.
Yeah. And
that was like, that's dope.
That's
right?
super dope.
So I had Spotify and I had Pandora at the same time, but I was still rocking more with Pandora because Pandora's radio was like just dope. Like it always played the right song at the right time.
And that's what we knew. We knew Pandora.
Yeah. So fast forward to this class, right? So this class, we were responsible for an industry. So we chose the industry of radio, online radio. And so we did a bunch of different studies on all these different online radio companies, and we said Spotify, even though they're behind Pandora right now, Spotify is going to win the industry, right? And this is why.
You're right about that.
Yeah, and it's like because Spotify is actually following social media 2.0. Like it's not just you listening to radio; it's you being able to, put your own music as an artist up there, so you can discover new artists. Like if I'm a independent artist, I don't need to go the traditional route. I can put my own music on there, right? You can. So that discovery was like huge, right? Because they weren't playing nobody artists on Pandora at the time. Like I discovered, all these dope artists that I had never heard of on Spotify, and like we put together a case study of all our different recommendations for Spotify, and we delivered it to them. And a lot of the stuff got implemented. So I'm like, man, this feels good, right? Because even if they were already working on it, they really didn't need to hear from us. Yeah. It still felt good delivering a case study to Spotify executives, and a lot of stuff that we recommended they actually put into it.
Hey, do you see something of yours in there?
I'd say the biggest thing I see was definitely like expanding on the discovery, right? Okay. Like so, being able to find new artists that are actually related to what you're listening to. Like Apple,
you said that.
Terrible. Yeah, we put that in our case study. Okay. So
collectively.
Yeah, so Apple's version of that, you get a bunch of songs that aren't related to what you actually want to listen to, so it sucks.
Yeah, that happens.
Pandora, they weren't really putting like indie artists in there. There was all professional artists, and they were like pushing, except they were pushing an agenda for like certain professional artists.
Right.
But you were getting like dope indie artists that you had like never heard of before. Like, yo, who is this?
Hey, I probably got most of like my artists I never even heard of probably from Spotify. Yeah, and I still listen to them on I got Apple now. Yeah. I usually listen to Apple just because I feel like logging into my Spotify. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just right there, right? But like, I listen to a bunch of different music, and I don't know, I feel like I got that from Spotify. Yeah. And maybe from the help of you and your team.
Maybe. And so I guess my biggest takeaway from this case study is one company was very understanding of the way things were changing, the way they were moving, and Pandora, which was Spotify, and then Pandora was very rigid. And even interviewing for the company,
classic.
Like the guy dismissed, some of the ideas that I had. He's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna lower our prices. Doesn't make sense. Like we're doing fine with the way the prices are now. We're doing fine with the way these things are right now." It's like you don't see the future. Like you don't see the big competitor like climbing and stealing market share. Like
that's the story of my life and my digital marketing business. Yeah, it's always trying to convince business owners that they need, the internet to thrive, and they're just like, I don't do that. We never did that, and it's like their business is going down the tank. Yeah, and other businesses they caught it, they catch it, and I don't understand it, but I will hire somebody who do. And it's taken off.
Yeah, you either adapt or die. Like that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's even happening right now.
It's happening all over the world.
You know, Facebook is going up. Prices for ads is going up. Bigger companies are starting to catch on.
Yeah.
You know, and they're starting to put more money into social media. And less money into TV.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's going to be a dangerous world for independent companies and independent digital marketers because of that.
Right? Like us.
Yeah, for us, I ran an ad the other day, and Facebook just drained my money and barely showed it to anybody.
That's
and I was like,
crazy.
yo, this is wild. Like,
I know.
I gotta, you know, you gotta learn, you gotta adapt. Because they're basically what they're doing is they want to ensure that their users aren't turned off by a bunch of ads.
True.
So they're gonna put it at a price point where only big companies can afford to market. So
well, the business is there too. You know, they know the business is there. People are just gonna not run ads.
Yeah, it's gonna pricing out the little guy.
Yeah, and the little guy's gonna fall off. That's why. Check this out. If you're an entrepreneur, you're listening. You just got into the game. You need to go hard right now. Because we don't know what it's going to look like in 2-3 years. You might not be able to listen. Right now, anybody can start a personal brand and they're good at something. They can sell that online. Yeah. They can make a course. They can make a product. They can sell that, right? There's people out there that have videos, YouTube videos about eating Cheetos and somehow makes money off of that. Yeah. Right? Just random stuff. That's probably not real. Right, but there are people out there that have weird business out there, and they're thriving. They're making money off of YouTube. They're making money off of their website, so on and so on. But the price of things are going up. And for the little people like me and you who started businesses with what $1,000 to $2,000, and were able to make way more in return, I feel like that is starting to die.
Yeah,
it's
definitely starting to die.
It's going like back. It used to be like what, $50,000 to $100,000 to start a business. You know, now it's like you just need a couple $100, right?
A couple $100 in a skill.
Right?
And it's sad. But only thing that's gonna do is it's what it's gonna do is gonna force people to learn and adapt. Right. So you're gonna have to learn how to. If you're gonna stay in the same space, like I said, I predict. This is just me.
Okay.
But my prediction is that Facebook is about to start losing money because most of their money comes from the little guys.
Okay.
Obviously, you have the big companies, that behemoths that throw money at marketing because they can. They're just so big. But small business always, dominates, world. Who's advertising? People want to get their business out there, get their brands out there. It's always a little person that's putting, everything they have into this business. And it's like now it's like it costs 40% more to run an ad than it did last year.
That's crazy, man.
It's wild, bro.
That's
it's like
crazy.
I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm watching my money just dwindle and it's not really showing it to anybody. I'm like, why is this costing so much? I knew they were going to raise their prices, but I didn't know they were raising their prices that much.
Right.
So now you got to find different mediums, different avenues. Like the old school ways of marketing are coming back. You can right now go to different websites and market your ads the old way, like banner ads.
Okay.
You can get, thousands of impressions for like 2 cents, 25 cents. And so I'm noticing a lot of those companies are starting to pick back up.
Right.
Because people still need to get their ads out there. You still need people to see your stuff. It's just you might not be able to do it on Facebook anymore. You have to go to other websites.
That's why it's important to not be a slave to one platform.
Yeah.
You always want to be somewhat versatile or have an idea of where this game is about attention. So where are people going? Go where people are going. It's kind of like when those random apps came out, like Reddit and like Tumblr. People are like, I don't know that. That's weird. That sounds weird. They didn't go there, but there are people that went there, and now they're winning. Yeah. Right? It's always going to change. We don't know. Like Instagram might not be around 10 years from now, so you got to go somewhere else. Yeah. So you got to adjust. You got to adapt. Facebook, who knows? Well, Facebook might be around for a long time. Yeah, and Facebook owned Instagram, so they might be around too.
Facebook's going to be around for a while. It's not going anywhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
They own they own a bunch of companies and they're doing it smart, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going anywhere.
Like Amazon. They ain't going nowhere.
They're not going nowhere, but I don't want to dive too much into that because we're gonna go too diverted.
Okay.
But yeah, there's Amazon, the Facebooks, Bezos, Zuckerberg. These guys are smart. These guys are so smart that they'll tell you themselves, like, hey, our companies might not be around, like Facebook, Amazon might not be around in the next 20, 30 years, but I'm still going to be rich because even if this company fails, I'm already investing in these other companies.
Right.
Like, that's how you stay, going. Like, those other people that was like, sink with the ship. It's like, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's just like they have so much conviction of like, this is my platform.
Everything has a lifespan.
No,
right?
Everything, like, listen, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to move. You got to be able to adapt and adjust.
Adapt
you
or
have
die.
to, Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to get smacked in the face. You're like, what happened?
True.
I'm not built for this game. So
we definitely head on a tangent, but
yeah, man,
we're gonna pass it back to you.
That came from your case study number 2.
Yeah, it did. It came out of the case study.
Yeah.
But we'll roll it back.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Okay.
We out there.
I just want you to know.
Let's talk about your last book.
My last book.
Your last book.
We're finally here, y'all.
Okay.
Holy Grail.
Okay.
Listen, man, my last book. This is the book that really changed my life. I know I said the last one changed my life, but this book taught me so much about myself and the world that we live in. Okay. This book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read this book, man?
I have not read that book.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. That's crazy.
I have not read this book.
That's probably why you're not that successful.
Okay. Just taking personal shots here.
So check this out, man. This book. Okay. I got a couple of notes. Okay. So this book helped me become a little bit more nicer to people. Not to say that I was an asshole. You know how we was growing up.
Yes.
Very
rare.
Or maybe it was a tad bit, right? But it helped me just understand the human race, people, right? It helped me to gain more empathy for people because everybody's going through something, right? But at a level, everybody is narcissistic, right? So there are some people that are super narcissistic that they don't give a fuck about how you feel ever. They have like almost zero empathy towards people.
Yeah.
Right? I had a level of empathy that was already there, but this book like really like opened my eyes. Like, man, like if somebody's going through something and they take it out on you, not to take it personal.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know what anybody's going through. Just like the call that you just had today.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know, like he could have just got off the phone with his ex-wife. She's like, I'm taking the kids. Right? And you had a call with him and he's just being a dick to you. You're never going to know what everybody's going through. Some people might tell you, some people might not. But just to have that empathy for people as a whole, it's like, I don't know, it was a great lesson for me. And just to understand that at some level, people care about themselves just a tad bit more than they care about you. Even the person that you're dating, might get some flack for this. Your wife, your husband, your mom, your dad. Only you have 100% of your DNA, and you care about yourself just a tad bit, a little more than everybody else. Yeah. So you might put yourself in positions where it's going to benefit you and may not benefit other people.
Gosh.
Right? You're going to take care of yourself a little bit better. Well, for the most part. Okay. Right? So help me understand, like, to really listen to people, to really, like, care about what they're going through, to really, like, try to understand what's going on with them, and try to give them what they want, make them feel better, right? And actually listen. Not do the actual, this is what a lot of people do. Like, you're talking and you're waiting for the next thing to say, like, you're waiting for me to pause, and you're just like, okay, now it's time for me to say the thing. But you didn't really listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because actually conversations flow so much more better when you actually listen to that person and then, have a response.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, this book just really just helped me with myself, to understand myself and just people as a whole. And when it comes to business or not business or just, being on this earth, everything is about people.
Okay.
Right. Everything. Business is about people. Yes, it's money.
It is.
But if you don't know how to deal with people, if you don't know how to deal with yourself, then you're not, you're not gonna win. Right?
It's true.
Just be more kind to people. Be more kind to people. I feel like this book. So it shows you how to help people get what they want.
Okay.
So that you can get what you want. Not to say that you have an agenda, but you help people get what they want and they feel good about themselves. Then they might want to be your friend, right? I mean, how many friends do you have that are hang around you just because for no reason?
For what you can provide for them, man.
Yeah, everybody, what I'm saying? We're friends.
Yeah. You
provide value to me, I provide value to you. If it was ever one-sided, you probably wouldn't call me as much. Yeah. Right? If it was just completely lopsided, right, you probably wouldn't call me at all. Right?
Yeah.
So, that book is dope.
Listen, sounds like a dope book.
It is. You gotta read it, man. I'm serious, bro. Like, a lot of business people talk about it, business gurus. Like, that book is usually, like, in the top 5. Like, no bullshit. That's in, like, top 5. You gotta read it, man.
I'm gonna pick it up.
It'll help you be a better person. You're kind of a dick sometimes.
I'm a good guy, man. I'm a good guy. I feel like,
Or is it me?
Is it what? I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm a good guy.
You're a good guy, but I'm telling you, man, that book will change your life. I feel like everybody should read that book.
Yeah.
They got a newer version. It's called, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I have the book. It's like 97 Ways to Talk to People or something like that. It's about how to small talk and move past small talk and actually listen to people and actually talk to people and care about them. It's like the I don't know, the modern version of this book.
I feel like people need that because, especially in the social media age, like people have no idea how to have conversations.
That's crazy.
Like, how long can you have a conversation before you pull your phone out?
Usually, it's right away. Listen, man, I talk to an average of 50 strangers a week. Right?
Yeah.
I would probably say, man, I don't know, 80% of those people are with their phone out. They don't really have good conversations because they're on their phones.
Yeah.
And then the 20%, we're actually like chopping it up.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Check it out. Yeah, man. Now let's get, and finally,
the reveal.
Finally, let's get to the book that you mentioned that we've been sitting on, or not been sitting on for like a month now.
I'm going to drop a spoiler alert and say that this book was actually mentioned already. But if you haven't watched it this far yet, then you don't know that. So the book that I was actually recommended by Chach.
This guy.
By Chach.
Give it up.
Actually changed my life the most was Product Launch by Jeff Walker.
Woo! Let's go. Hold on. Let me sip some tea. Let me hear about it.
So the reason why this book changed my life the most was not because it was like earth-shattering information. It was just written in a way that was so well thought out and like just straightforward. And it's like, how do you build interest for a product or a service and then sell that product or a service to someone else?
Let's go.
Without having any skill or any knowledge of how to sell.
Okay.
But just having a talent.
Okay, see, now you preaching.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
The reason why this book changed my life, because I had learned all this stuff in business school.
Yeah.
Right? But it wasn't put together like this. It wasn't put in a straightforward path from beginning to end. on how to actually launch a product or service.
Right.
And then as I was reading the book, I started to notice that all these multi-billion-dollar companies
We're doing the same
were
thing.
using his formula. They read his book.
I know.
This man has created so many millionaires and billionaires off of something so simple. It's like you got the person who's like, you know, they're an expert at something, but whenever they explain something, it's super complicated.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like the old saying that C students make the best teachers.
Okay.
So he was like, I don't want to disrespect him, but he was like that C student that was like, all this craziness out here, yes, this is all built together, but this is all you really need.
Yeah, for real.
From beginning to end. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing that you took all the stuff that I already know, but you just cut it down. You cut it down into just only the important nuggets. Obviously, in the book, he does some fluff, mentioning some of his students and stuff like that. But like to put all that together just was like amazing to me. I'm like, man, wow! Like I didn't even think about this, and it put together me like how to do like a launch, how to seed, how to get people interested in something, gauge their interest without them ever knowing that you're eventually going to sell them something. It's like, how do I say you own a gym, right?
Yeah.
And you want to launch an online version of your gym because you want to make more money, right? Your goal is to not be at the gym every single day.
Right.
So you're like, how do I get an online program started? Okay. So if you read Jeff Walker's product launch, that should be simple to you.
He'll tell you exactly how to do it.
And so basically what you do is you seed it. You go to your pre-existing customers, which is essentially your list.
Yeah.
And you're saying, hey, I'm thinking about offering this service.
Okay.
Are you guys interested? Cool. Like, don't tell them you're selling anything. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm interested. You get a certain number of people that say, hey, I'm interested in this. Okay. Cool. Come back to them. Remember that service I was talking about? I'm thinking about pricing it at this point.
What do you think?
What do you feel about that? How do you feel about this price? Oh, I think this price is too high. Oh, I think this price is too low. I would rather pay you this for it. Blah, blah, blah. Then you find a medium price. And then out of nowhere, you come out of, oh, hey, guys, I just launched this new service. It's about this. It's going to cost this much. You guys sign up. You've already like planted the seeds.
Right.
So now you get them to buy it. You get them to try it. And then if they like it, then you can scale it because you already know. And then this is
instead of just making a product out of nowhere and getting like 5,000 or 50,000 products and like, I know this is going to sell. Yeah. This is a great idea. And then no one buys it.
No one buys it.
You're sitting on this inventory. Yeah. And now you got to file for bankruptcy.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you just, you read that book and so now you know how to seed an idea and get people interested in an idea before you ever sell anything so that when you do finally sell something, they already want it.
Right.
And then I'm like, man, that is amazing.
It's genius.
That is genius.
Or just being able to just go out there and get cold traffic to bring them in, people who've never heard of your business before, by giving them value first.
Yeah.
Giving them something for free. You ever wonder why people are giving away free ebooks all the time, free courses? Because it's value, and also it's for you to get introduced to their brand, their business. See, if I go and knock on your door and ask you for money, will you give me money? No. But if I knock on your door and say, hey, listen, man, I was in the neighborhood and I got this really cool product and I think you will like it here. And I give it to you. And then I come back the next, a week later and say, hey, how would you like the product? And you're like, oh, it was really good. Thank you so much. Well, I got a better version of that product or a different version of that product, and it's $19.99. You're going to be more likely to buy that product now.
Because you're engaged. You know that he's already given you value for free.
I didn't ask anything from you. See, the problem is people are running out there trying to steal people's money, or not steal people's money, or give people's money first without catering to the individual that they don't even know. Right? No one knows about your business. No one knows about your brand. Why would they buy from you? Right? But if I gave you some value first, you're more likely to might check out some of my stuff, especially if it was good. Yeah. Right? Not a lot of people know that. Yeah. So that book taught me, it's crazy because I read that book first before I read .com Secrets. So when I read .com Secrets, I was like, wow. Like it it definitely makes sense now. Like the picture has just been, it's just clear now. Like I should have read both of these books 2 years ago when my mentor told me to. Right? Yes, I would have probably saved. I don't know, man. I would have saved. Well, I would have made more sales.
Yeah.
I would have probably lost like $2,000 or more, right? And we could be somewhere else right now doing this podcast.
Yeah. And somewhere in Barbados.
Somewhere in Barbados. I don't even know where that is, but I could be there.
Yeah. So,
you know,
it's the island where Rihanna was born.
Yeah, man. She's the homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Rihanna.
We go way back. I don't know her, but we go back.
I don't know her, but I do know her marketing guy.
You do?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Met him a few years ago.
Fun fact. Man.
Yeah.
Well, he's killing it.
He actually hit me up last Friday.
Okay.
So almost a week ago.
Oh, so you know people now.
I mean, we're not like best friends, but we met and we stayed in contact on not LinkedIn, but on Instagram.
Okay. So
he shot me a message like, "Oh, he's like, it's Friday, and I'm getting ready to go home early."
Yeah.
He's like letting everybody in my office go home early because his company, obviously Rihanna is one of his clients, and I helped blow him up, and so he's running his own marketing agency up in LA.
You should talk to him more.
Yeah.
Go down to LA.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Yeah. I need to reestablish that in a more professional way because we stay in contact, but it's more like informal.
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, well, I see something you're working on, that's dope. He sees something I'm working on, that's dope. But we never really built a personal relationship.
You might want to check that out.
Yeah.
Get into that.
Yeah, he's a cool dude though. He's making a lot of money. Has his own office in LA, tons of staff.
Okay. Yeah, man. I would like to get on that one. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I want to get on that one.
See, I do. I don't really care much for marketing. Like I'm consulting, which kind of brings me to a point that we might be to talk about on a later episode. But
okay, I actually had an idea because we didn't have it laid out for the next episode.
Yeah,
I got an idea, but if you got a better idea, we can swap those.
We'll see.
Okay.
So basically, the difference between a business consultant and just someone who just runs ads and just someone who's a digital marketer. So I had a conversation with a company a couple of days ago, and they were talking to me. I think I mentioned it to you.
Okay.
They're talking to me about how they've been approached by all these digital marketing agencies to run their ads, and their approach was basically just to run ads. Like they didn't have any like how we're gonna set up like case anyway how we're gonna test this, like how it's gonna affect the business. They don't know.
They should have read the book.
Yeah, but even if they read the book, right, they don't necessarily know how to tie this to long-term ROI. Like, what's the lifetime value of this customer? Like, all these things that you only learn if you're actually running a true business.
Yeah.
To tell them, it's like, hey, if we're running this test case, we need to make sure we hit these points. And they were just, like, blown away. Not because I'm, like, some fucking genius, but it's because, like, they were just only listening to people who run ads. Like, they don't understand how this ad ties into the business long term. And once I was able to break that down for them, because they approached me as if I was just running digital ad marketing, digital ads, I was like, no, I'm a consultant. Like, I've been doing business consulting for a long time. Like, I'm not just here to run your ads.
Yeah.
Like, I can do that for you if that's what you want. But I'm trying to help you grow your business long term, not just run a few ads here and there. But
that's what you do.
Yeah. How do we structure your business so that's the most successful it could possibly be?
Okay.
And so, could definitely like touch on some of that maybe in a later episode.
And what would that topic be?
It would just be like if you're in this space and you're a digital marketer or whatever it is, just to take time and actually really know your space.
Okay.
Not just running ads for any old business, but like I want to master this space. I want to know everything about this business line. So that way, if you're talking to somebody in your space and you're saying, hey, maybe your space is restaurants. Like,
right.
I know that, this ad that we're running, you're usually making, anytime someone comes in, you're making $15 per person that comes in, right? And you're averaging 200 people a day.
Okay.
So we need to run an ad that's effective for that space. Like, you don't want to overspend if you're not bringing in enough people to match that.
Right.
So your margins are different.
So you have to know that niche.
You have to know that niche.
So you should probably pick 1 to 2.
two max, and after you master one, then grow into that next one.
Okay.
Because if I look
at it,
that's what
I didn't do in the beginning.
Yeah. So I look at it like if I really understand the sports space and the sports marketing space, right? I understand how much value you get out of this, right? So one of the guys that I was planning on doing business with who ghosted me, I understand that he makes $197 a month per person, and he's usually onboarding at this current rate. He's only onboarding 2 new people, 3 new people a month, but he wants to get up to 5 new people a week. Okay. So based on that, we need to understand how much money we can spend on ads where it's still profitable to run that, so that we can get him 5 new people per week.
Right. How much does it cost to acquire? At least how much does it cost to acquire one customer?
Yeah. What's your how do we reduce your customer acquisition cost to make it profitable?
Okay.
And so that's what I wanted to give out there as advice for people who are running these businesses and running these marketing agencies. Stop running ads for everybody. There are companies that are already so big that it doesn't matter. But if you're small and you're just starting off, find a niche.
Yeah.
And understand that business more than just the ads.
It's going to really understand.
Yeah, it's going to help you so much in the conversation.
Not just the business itself, but that space.
Yeah.
Like really understand that business and that space at the same time.
It's like if you're like I said again in your it bleeds over into your niche, but if you're an online personal trainer, right, and you know that each time you bring somebody into your online program, it's $1,200 or $1,400 for 8 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it is. But that's how much that's how much money you're gonna make from that one person.
Right.
So if you want to bring in 5 new people a week, or that's a lot. I mean, you'd have to be really growing fast to do that.
Okay.
But if you want to bring in, let's say, 5 new people a month, right? You want to make an additional $6,000-$7,000 a month. You need to be spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month on marketing. Because if you're not, there's no way you're going to make that $6,000-$7,000 a month. It's just not possible.
It's crazy when you say that, because a lot of clients that I meet with, potential clients, I explain this to them and they're like, I'm not even trying to spend $500.
Yeah, and it's
right,
ridiculous.
and it's crazy. I remember, I won't say the company name. I was working with a lawyer. Me and my business partner were working with a law firm, and they wanted Google Ads space. At the time, it was called Google Ads, right? Google AdWords. I'm sorry. Yes. Now it's just called Google Ads, and I had a software that allowed me to look at their competitors, and see how much they were paying for keywords, right? So after going through the numbers, their competitors were spending $1,500 a day on Google AdWords, right? They wanted me to spend $300 a month. And I tried to explain to them that your customers are buying out the keywords that cost more, but they're very effective. The keywords that I have to buy now with your $300 budget won't go as far. People are really not typing. The thing is, I'm really good at what I do. I research, and I tweak. I still got them business, right? So kept them on as a client for 3 months. I think around 3 months, and then we came to the decision not to keep them on as a client. It was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much. I don't want to get into it, but it was best for our company not to keep them on as a client.
Right. That's something you got to be aware of. Yeah. So, I mean, I can go on and on forever, but we don't want to dive too much into that into the next episode. So what is that the topic you want to talk about next week, or what is it you want to talk about next week?
I wanted to talk about mentors.
Mentors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I love the topic we're talking about, but I feel like right now, early in this podcast, a lot of people don't. Well, I mean, entrepreneurs are listening to this.
Yes.
Right? Or not. Right?
Maybe.
It could be, your mom listening to it.
Talking to ourselves,
But a lot of other people don't really understand the whole ad game, and they're not in the ad space. But at the same time, it's something that everybody needs to at least have like some knowledge if you're in the entrepreneur space and you're trying to run a business, right? So we'll flip a coin.
I said we just talk about mentors.
Okay, so we're not gonna flip a coin?
No, why? Let's talk about mentors.
Okay. We can talk about that one next. Unless we come up with something better.
So we'll talk about mentors because, like, I feel like that other topic is gonna be super heavy for me. It's like this is what I fucking do. Like I'm a business consultant, so I can really dive into that.
You're gonna get emotional.
I could get emotional. That's just but you know,
not the emotion I was thinking of.
Yeah, so I can do all the emotions, but I feel like it might be too deep for our users at this point.
Okay.
Because I don't think everybody's at that level yet.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Maybe in a later episode.
When we've nurtured,
coddled
our listeners to a certain point where they can really like take value out of that. Okay. Otherwise, you're like talking about lifetime value, customer acquisition costs, measuring analytics on different portions of the funnel. It's like, what?
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't even know what you just said.
So it's like, okay, let's let them grow with us over time, and then we can just jump into that.
Okay. So mentors is definitely the easier topic.
Yeah, mentors is a much easier topic.
And it's extremely valuable to have a mentor.
Yes.
There are people out there that say, I don't have a mentor. I don't need a mentor. Listen, there's not one successful person who became successful by their damn self. Yeah. You hear me? Not one. Yeah. And there's mentors everywhere, even when you're not thinking about it. They're in your books. They're in your boss. That sucks because it teaches you how to not be that type of boss. They're from people that are not even alive anymore. That you read some of their old articles or some of some of their biographies or something like that, right? They're in-person mentors. There's internet mentors. They're your parents. They're everywhere. Okay.
We always disagree on this. I don't believe that. I believe
exactly
that a mentor is someone you have a personal relationship with.
Okay.
That you don't pay. I feel like there's other people that can influence you. You can read, past work of old people that can influence you. But a mentor is someone you can actually reach out and talk to when you need to.
Okay.
And they're not charging you. They're just there to help you.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just the way I feel about it. Whenever I say mentor, I mean someone I'm actually personally connected with, and they actually help me out with my business.
Okay, so I see we have 2 points of views on this one.
Yeah.
I agree and I don't agree. I agree that's a form of mentor, but that not all mentors are created equally. Okay. So yeah, man, next episode, I'm excited. We can talk about, I can elaborate more about what I'm talking about, and then you can just kind of go all in on the in-person mentors.
Yeah.
Right?
All my mentors are people I know I have a personal relationship with.
Okay. That's what's up, man. All right, man. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah. Feel good.
Yeah. We gave some books.
Books.
Hey man, can you do me a favor?
What can I do for you?
Okay. Can you do me a favor and maybe list some of these books in the description? I feel like I keep having this conversation with you. You don't put anything in the description that we said we're gonna do.
Yeah,
you should put it in there.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Okay. So maybe. Okay. All right. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. For you guys that are listening, thank you for watching. For the guys and gals that are watching, please let's go off the list. Please like, subscribe on whatever platform that is. Leave a review, helpful review. If you like this episode, got any value, man, hit us up on social. Broke Entrepreneur Podcast, Instagram at Broke Entrepreneur Podcast, Facebook at Broke Entrepreneur Podcast. Alton, what is your personal? We never told people the personal. What is your personal Instagram?
I don't have one. I mean, I have one, but I don't want people to follow my personal Instagram.
Okay, so let's not do that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can follow me. It's at Chach Silva. That's it. You follow me. I'm there.
I might be opening it up to. I mean, it's a public Instagram page. I might be opening it up once I can do some cleanup.
Okay.
We gotta say a lot of crazy stuff, so we gotta make sure I clean that up.
I say stuff too, but you already know. You already know.
But that's cool.
Okay. Or you don't know. All right. Thank you guys. And see you next time. All right.
Peace.